Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a video and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Today, it is my privilege to welcome a very dear friend from Bangalore, India, Mr. Hem Chandra Javeri. Hemu, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Hemu is from IIM Calcutta. He was the country head of Nike. He's been the president of Madura Garments. Then he became an entrepreneur. He's the founder of Zeven Sports, an inspirational sports brand. He's a golfer. He's a scuba diver. He's a trained classical singer. And like me, he's a member of the YPO. What an amazing journey you've had, him. What would you say are three key milestones in your life and or career?
Well, I would say, there are three important events or sequence of events. I think the first is my marriage. My wife, Jaya, who I've known now for almost 42, 43 years. And then linked to that are two lovely children, Isha, my daughter, and my son, Krish. I think that is one important set of events or milestones. The other is my corporate career. I had a fantastic run in corporate life in India, culminating in being the first, country head of Nike for South Asia in India, and then as the president of Madura. And then the third phase is my entrepreneurial journey, which began in my mid to late 40s.
Okay.
And we started a private equity fund manager along with some close and like-minded friends from Bangalore. So the fund manager is called Forum Synergies. At that time, it was the first private equity fund manager started by people who were either CEOs or, business people and not finance guys.
Okay.
So that has been probably the third set of events. So, wow, I think it's been an amazing journey of life.
Fantastic. So, after such an incredible corporate career, and I made the same transition, probably at the same time age like you. I started at 46 to become an entrepreneur. What was your motivation to quit the corporate world and become an entrepreneur?
Well, in hindsight, Ashutosh, there is no greater comfort than a big fat salary check.
Correct.
So in hindsight, to leave that was probably a very tough choice. And I'm sure it's a tough choice for most people. But, I had been president of Madura for a few years. We've done pretty well. And one of the value systems I always had was that I would never join a competing company in the same industry. It actually helped me because I learned a lot in life and learned many new businesses. So because of that, I didn't really have too many options of companies to join. I would be doing more of the same, either bigger or smaller. And I had no attraction to go overseas because I wanted to live in India, and it's one decision that I have never regretted.
Correct.
So then at that time, we were a few close friends, including from YPO. And there was this whole talk about all of us who were wanting to become entrepreneurs. We were in our mid 40s. If I hadn't done it then, I would not have been able to do it. And I think the decision to take the entrepreneurial plan was a positive one. I wanted to do it because I had tasted success, I had tasted fulfillment, but now I wanted to do it with my agenda, right? I must say in corporate life also, I had lots of freedom, I had enjoyed my life. But as an entrepreneur, the phase is different. It's very personal about everything. Like in corporate life, it's a little distant from you. So I think that was the sort of period when I decided that I want to be an entrepreneur. And I think the timing worked out great. Even in your mid to late 40s, it's not late. I don't think it's ever late to be an entrepreneur.
I agree.
And I think looking back, it was now almost 12, 13 years ago. It's been a fantastic journey.
Fantastic. So, on a lighter note, when people used to ask me that you also mentioned freedom, I said, absolutely, I have a lot of freedom. I now have the right to decide which 18 of the 24 hours I have to work every day.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yes, it is a lot of hard work.
And I think, work if work is play and work is fun,
Mm.
I think it becomes a very different, ball game. And as we have spoken in the past, I think a lot depends on the people you are interacting with,
Correct.
on the ecosystem you are operating in. It makes a big difference.
Correct. Very good. So let's move to Zeven Sports. I hope I'm getting the pronunciation right.
Yes.
Tell me about this venture.
I have a dear friend, his name is Mahesh Bhupati. I've known his family for a very long
Well,
time.
very big name, big tennis
We
player.
have, I've known the family for almost 25 years.
Mm.
And Mahesh has been a big proponent that the Indian sports ecosystem
Mm.
does not have brands which are made in India for India.
Okay.
So our thesis when we began this journey about 4 or 5 years ago was simple. There are big brands, international brands, who Indian consumers, frankly, even today don't relate to beyond a very small niche.
Correct.
And then there are the other private labels, online players, etc., who are not brands,
Mm.
who are private labels.
Correct.
And we did our homework that we realized that the Indian consumer was not relating to the other sports brands that are there. So after a lot of time, effort, and money, we decided to position Zeven as an authentic Indian sports brand made for India,
Okay.
focused on offering world-class quality
Mm.
at what we call India prices,
Okay.
which is aspirational, which is deep into sport,
Mm.
and most importantly, gives the consumer
Mm.
great product to play better, to look better, to feel better,
Mm.
and also is aspirational. So that is the thesis of Zeven,
Wonderful.
with
And
which we began.
what is the background of the name?
So, great question. The core of the brand is energy.
Okay.
And in India, we're all used to the 7 chakras
Okay.
in our body.
Yeah.
Sport actually releases those chakras, the energy in those chakras.
Okay.
So we were debating, what should be the name, and we didn't want a common name, yet we didn't want a difficult name.
Correct.
So after some 500 names, we chose Zeven. It was just simple,
Mm.
and it did the job.
Wonderful. And you just
And the
simply.
symbol of the brand,
Mm. Go ahead.
sorry,
No, I said you
And
just
the
simply
symbol of the
reversed the
brand.
S.
yes, absolutely. And the symbol, the logo is actually a nice chakri, a bit like the Sudarshan chakra,
Okay.
which again stems from the 7 chakras in the body.
Wonderful. So, Hemu, you got so much experience in building brands, FMCG brands, from Nike to Madura. What goes into building a completely new sports brand like Zeven?
Well, first and foremost, as you know better than me, it's damn tough.
I know.
You have to be patient. Brand building in India is expensive. It takes time. I believe for a brand from ground zero to even reach basic levels of consumer engagement and relationship, with 7 to 10 years. But I think, at least my experience tells me, that the core thing in all of this is truth. If you are true to yourself, if you are true to your consumer, you build trust. And if you are able to be true to that consumer, the brand will get built. It won't happen overnight. You will lose some consumers, you will bring new consumers. But so long as you're true to yourself and to your consumer, you can build a brand. And therefore, I would summarize it by saying that that's really my experience tells me. You have to be true, and truth equals trust. Trust equals brand value.
Correct. Well said. So my next question, since you are in building a sports brand and you are talking of multiple sports, we've always said in India there is cricket and then there are other sports. Right? What are your thoughts and how can this imbalance be corrected?
Very tough. And I honestly believe that there is a large global cricket opportunity, right? Because there is no global cricket brand.
Correct.
And, the whole idea is that I think India, especially the BCCI, has done an extraordinary job
Mm.
in building cricket since 1983. Obviously, the turning point for a game to become national of the levels of engagement that cricket has, there has to be one of those events like 1983.
Correct.
And after that, the players, the BCCI, the entire cricket ecosystem has done, in my view, an extraordinary job
Mm.
to build the game, of course, at the national and international level, but also at the grassroots level.
Mm.
That's one. Second, I think also Indians are better suited to cricket,
Mm.
hand-eye coordination, those kind of sports, like badminton, like tennis, rather than sports which demand very, very high levels of fitness
Mm.
and inherent resilience on ground. Right?
Mm.
Yes, there are people who are developing it, and I'm sure India will develop
Mm.
the ecosystem of other sports,
Mm.
but it will take time.
Okay.
And then you also have to see it in a relative context.
Mm.
When is India going to win a football World Cup? Because the competition is more intense, of course, but also it is going to take time. So nothing wrong. I think the fact that cricket is such a large game
Correct.
allows it to be meaningful. Look at the number of players, Indian players, who have been able to change their lives because of IPL.
Absolutely.
It's extraordinary.
Mm. Very true. So moving on now, Hemu, part of your marketing hat, part of it, your entrepreneur hat, sports hat. How did the digital ecosystem going to impact sports brands?
So actually the digital changes are going to impact everybody. They're going to impact literally everybody from the highest to the lowest,
Mm.
from groups to individuals. Even our security staff today are digitally enabled.
Mm.
So I think digital is changing the world. It's stating the obvious, right? We knew it was coming, but I think the pandemic has actually accelerated that by a multiplier effect. And it's not about having an e-commerce portal or a social media presence. I think all of us as individuals, as corporations, as businesses have to think digitally. So both my kids, they think digitally.
Mm.
The millennials,
Mm.
the people in their 20s, they think digitally. And I think for us, particularly, of our age group,
Mm.
it's not difficult,
Correct.
but we always go back to thinking differently. And if you think digitally, I think there are huge opportunities in this new ecosystem.
Mm.
And I'm seeing it, as something that is only going to be good for everybody. It unites the world, it removes barriers, it's faster, it's cost effective, and more importantly, it is of scale.
Mm.
So, I've been preparing for this for a while,
Okay.
but I think now we all need to move faster
Okay.
to tap the opportunities and reduce the risk.
Correct. So staying with now your brand Zeven, how are you rolling this out? I mean, do you, you said you got your equipment under the Zeven brand. You got equipment, you got multiple sports, you got retail. What is happening to Zeven as a brand?
So we have struggled in recent past, primarily because of COVID, but also before that. And that is because, as entrepreneurs, we are all optimists,
Correct.
but we never think of risk.
Correct.
But because I wear the investor hat, risk is a four-letter word.
Correct.
That's extremely important.
Right.
Unfortunately, I have an amazing set of shareholders and board who, from the late part of 2019, we saw lots of headwinds. So we started cutting back on cost, on market outstandings, inventory, etc. And that is the exact reason why we can survive this storm.
Correct.
There are other competitors who have huge inventories, huge markdowns, large costs. They have to shut down.
Correct.
But we are able to sort of put our heads down, let the storm go over us and come back. Fortunately, the brand in the cricket and sports ecosystem has established a good name.
Correct.
And that's what will allow us to come back.
Correct. So what I'm hearing you say is that there could be a Zeven cricket ball, there could be a Zeven football. There could be a Seven tennis racket. And
I wouldn't go that far,
okay,
Ashutosh. I mean, our focus is footwear and apparel,
okay,
and primarily cricket equipment.
I see.
Bats, that kind of stuff. Because the other sports are much smaller,
Hmm.
as you rightly said. What are the top 10 sports in India? 1 to 9 is cricket.
Hmm.
Can we make all the other stuff? Answer is yes, but not in the near future.
Okay, I understand. Well said. So my next question to you is, you spoke a little bit about millennials who think digitally. How are millennials and the Gen Zs changing the business of sports?
Well, first and foremost, and I'll speak for India, but it's also, I think, we're seeing it across the world.
Hmm.
They have become extremely hungry
Hmm.
for sports assets.
Hmm.
I think we all know that the largest audience in the world is for F1 and
Correct.
football events. I think the millennials are very hungry
Hmm.
for content of sport. It could be just highlights of the latest El Clasico,
Correct.
but they are very hungry, and that's extremely important for the business of sport, because media is really what drives the sporting industry, right?
Okay.
So that is one. Second, I think we are seeing this now, especially in India. The millennials are increasingly taking up to sport
Hmm.
and active participation in sport at different frequencies,
Hmm.
right? My son, he's 25. He plays football in a small, that five-a-side
Hmm.
very regularly.
Okay.
He lives sport. So also my daughter,
Hmm.
right? So they are making it an integral part of their life. And when I say sport, I'm also including fitness, right? Because the actual match is, let's say, 1 hour, but to be a good player on the match, you have to train for hours together.
Hmm.
So I think the adjacency to that is the amazing growth of fitness
Okay.
and wellness, of course. Both are, today more and more. So I think the millennials are who are driving this whole thing, and they're driving it by watching it online on the mobile phone and everything, but also playing. And they talk about sport.
Good. Well
A
said.
big difference.
Well said. Well said. So I'm going to move to a few questions for you personally now.
Okay.
My first question is that, Hemu, you love classical music. You're a scuba diver. You're a golfer. From your perspective as a successful CEO and an entrepreneur, how important is a hobby or a passion for each one of us?
Frankly, I live for my passions. For me, we've grown up in a family of music. My grandmother founded the first music school for women
Wow.
in India
Mhm.
in 1929 in Mumbai.
Amazing.
My parents have always been deeply sort of embedded in and passionate about music. So I will never be Besur or Betal.
Okay.
It is, for me, music is a very, very big part of my life. It is my passion, as is sport.
Correct.
But interestingly, work is also my passion. And I must say, I've been very blessed with the kind of career I've had. Work has very, very rarely been a pain.
Mm.
It's been a joy. I've been lucky in that sense.
Correct.
So you have to have an ability to nurture your passions, not when you're 60 or 70 or 50, when you're 20.
Correct.
And I believe strongly in this, that do what you love, but you also have to love what you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So absolutely, for me, passions, of course, I'm not able to get enough time to play on the golf course regularly, as also diving. But music, just absolutely. Yes, passion is life, in my opinion.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And, great corporate career, great startup. I'm sure it'll do very, very well. What does success mean to Hemu?
Okay, so let me get a little philosophical here, right? When you're young, you're always looking for success.
Correct.
And the way I have interpreted success
Mm.
is an external measure of your self-worth, right? Success is more defined as what is your money, what is your car, what is your house, what is your title, etc. But fortunately, I've always been a little spiritual,
Mm.
and I realized fairly early in my life that, for me at least, fulfillment is more important than success.
Okay.
Because the journey of life is more important than the destination of life. And I think for me, I always feel that because I made those choices, or that more fundamental choice, they're not always at the cost of each other. You can have both. But when you choose fulfillment, maybe I made less money in my life. Maybe I didn't become a global CEO.
Mhm.
But I think I've lived an extraordinary life which has fulfilled me, the people around me, my family, my close friends, like yourself.
Okay.
To me, that is more important.
Mm.
Success is important, but if you chase success without the fulfillment angle,
Mm.
I've seen a lot of people where it didn't work. And then at the end of the day, when they, reach their 50s and 60s, they think, oh God, what have I done with my life?
Mm. Very true. Very true. My next question is that, you keep doing interesting things, so many hobbies, so many passions. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
I think the basic source or the primary source of my inspiration is the Bhagavad Gita, and the teachings of Bhagavan Krishna. As you know better than me, the Bhagavad Gita is a way of living life. It's not a religious book.
Correct.
Right? And I've read the Quran, I've read the Bible. I just recently finished reading the Bible after a gap of several years.
Mm.
And we all know the teachings are the same. But my inspiration has been the role of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. I don't believe that I can be even one small decimal of what he teaches us to be.
Mm.
But that has been my role model.
Mm.
And I hope that the people around me will say that, yeah, okay, yes, we sensed at least this small fraction in our relationships or in my behavior and actions.
Wonderful. So I've now time for two quick questions for you. My next question is that if you, Hemu, were a role model to millions of children who closely followed you and your life choices, what is the one thing you would change in yourself?
Oh, I would change so many things about myself. I think the thing that I have not done enough. I'm more of a private person. I like to be with people I care about, and sometimes you need to be in the public domain or the limelight for a role. But by choice, I would not do that.
Mhm.
I think I would have been or should be a lot more outspoken, communicate a lot more, you know, be out there talking about issues that matter. In short, I would say be a lot more outspoken
Okay.
after due thought, not for the sake of it.
Sure. Sure. Well said. And my last question to you, come back to the pandemic. How are you rethinking your life in a new world order?
Yes, I think almost everybody I know has rethought their lives. But, I realized that I made a post a few weeks ago that at least in my mind now, what really matters are four things in this order of priority. First, health for yourself and family,
Correct.
right? Second is relationships. I miss interacting with people who are dear to me. Even my parents who are in Mumbai,
Mm.
I'm not able to spend enough time with them, right? Third, our experiences. Little experience. Experience is not that you have to be in, the North Pole.
Mm.
Experiences can happen daily.
Correct.
How good are they? How enjoyable are they? And for me, money comes fourth,
Correct.
has always come forth. So I think that's how I have realized my new worldview of what really matters is.
Very good.
And some of it, I think, one has been able to live with. But I think obviously now the plan is to live with this set of priorities and, look ahead.
Wonderful. Hemu, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you. I wish you and Zevon Sports lots of success.
Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure, Ashutosh.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.